Hey everybody, how are y'all doing this morning? It's a really rainy Tuesday morning here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Dr. Cindy Stark. I am so excited to be here with you guys for my first Tuesday at 10 Facebook Live in my group, trying to help everyone realize that the thing in our body that runs the whole entire show is what's between our ears. And no doctor ever really knows how to tell you to take control of the matter between your ears. As you pop in here, I want y'all to introduce yourself. Tell me where you're from. If you're catching this talk live, say hashtag live. And if you're catching it on the replay, say hashtag replay. But again, my name is Dr. Cindy Stark. I'm going to try to keep these short and easy to digest bites. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I have a lot that's on my heart that I want to tell you, and it's going to be a series. It's meant to be a series. I'm going in here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the story is just going to kind of unfold as these summer months go by. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm an internal medicine physician. I also have a PhD in genetics. Hey Pat, and I studied genetics with the intent of learning exactly how it is that genes make us who we are, and how all these things that you think are handed down in your family, you think that, well, because it's in my genes, then it's going to have to be that way because I got it from my family. And I was just really fascinated from a really young age as to all the different things that went into play in genetics. So not only did I get board certified in internal medicine, but I also got a PhD in molecular genetics. So all that stuff fascinates me. I geek out on anything health, anything science, anything brain, anything fitness, anything mindset. And anyway, I'm 51 years old, and I wanted to come in here today to tell y'all just a little bit of an overview about why your mindset is so important in everything that you do in your life. So what I've learned, unfortunately, through a very, tragic turn of events in my 51 years on this earth, is that when things happen to us, especially when we're younger, they can cause like micro trauma in the brain. I'm already getting choked up here. And we don't even really realize that it's happening to us until we kind of see how it plays out in our life. And I don't know if anyone can relate, and if you can, just drop it in the comments below. But do you ever find yourself doing something over and over again that you don't want to do, that is not who you are, that is not in alignment with your highest, best version of yourself, but you just keep doing it, and hurt people, and just tell me, have you found yourself actually doing damage, not only to yourself, but to those around you, other people that you love? And it's usually the ones that we love the most. Well, I was just fascinated as to why am I doing causing the havoc that I've caused, not only in myself but also in my family. And I through a 30-year a relationship with the healthcare field, with psychologists, with counselors, with pastors, with Bible studies, with secular counseling, Christian counseling, books, marriage retreats, all this stuff, I finally realized what it was that was causing the trauma and the damage that I was doing to myself and to my family my whole life. And it was something that had happened to me when I was 14 years old. I know that my parents were doing the best that they could, but I was the youngest of 3 children, and my mom and dad they would leave the house almost every night and to go party with some neighbors. And my brother and my sister were 5 years and 4 years older than me, and they were really into, I say drugs and alcohol. I don't really know exactly what they were doing. I'm sure there was marijuana and alcohol. And along with my 18 and 19-year-old brother and sister that were drunk and stoned came their friends. And especially my brother had some really sorry friends. And after I would go to sleep upstairs, boy after boy after boy, I don't know how many, I don't know who, I just pretended to be asleep, and stuff happened to me in my bed. at night when I was 14. And I will always say to this day, it's not the actual event that was the problem that created the problems I've had in my life, but it was who I decided that I was because of that event and because of that problem. And what I made that mean to me is that I was unworthy. I was unworthy of protection by my mom and dad. I was unworthy of speaking my voice and telling someone what was going on, and I let it go on for the better part of 2 years. I was unworthy of a relationship. The guys would just do what they wanted to do with me in my bed, and then I would never even know who they were. I was unworthy of living a life free of the fear of what would happen to you when you went to bed at night. So, I always say God was looking out for me. I didn't even really realize this was going on, but the way that I got out of that is that I embarked upon an educational journey, and I literally, as soon as I finished grade 12 in high school, I went on to 12 more years of school. I'm like, get me out of that house, get me out of that city. I never even want to go back to that house, that city, that county. And anyway, thank goodness the abuse did stop. I don't really know why it stopped. Maybe it's because my brother got married and moved away. I have no recollection of the actual events. But regardless, it made me who I am today, and I'm now a doctor, and I help bring people health. And I just want to be a beacon of hope. And what I want to do to y'all today, really more than anything, is to just tell y'all that there is hope, that things can get better, number one. And I also want to just tell you through my story and demonstrate to you that I am a resilience master. I never let failure define me. I kept failing at shit over and over and over again my whole entire life. And every single time it happened, I said, that's not going to define me. And so I got back up and did something again. There's an old Japanese proverb that says the person who is the most successful is not the one who falls the least, but the one who falls and just keeps getting up. And that's me. And I don't know why that is, that I was built that way. My dad especially, hold on a second, I had to take a drink of water. My dad especially would say to me from a very early age, where did you get this gumption from, Cindy? And I really don't know. It just came in me. I got it as a package deal. And so I go around with my sphere of influence here in Gainesville, Georgia. And I have especially want to empower the teenage generation, and then also women in my age group, 35 to 55 and up, that no matter what's happened to you, sweetheart, you can have a do-over and you can make it better. So with my children, with Jessica, I became like the basketball mom and the volleyball mom, and with Wyatt, my son, I became the Boy Scout leader, and I was his little Cub Scout leader for 6 years, and then also the baseball mom and all that. I just want to just love on children, and then also love on people and my people in my generation, because lots of times we just live our whole entire life, don't we, just based on let me be a good mom, and let me be the best wife I can be, let me be the best for me, the best doctor I can be. And sometimes you just don't really think about yourself, and you got to heal yourself. So anyway, I'm getting off subject, but I'm going to look down from time to time at my notes, because I do have a lot of stuff I want to cover with you guys today. Again, if y'all are just coming on, just pop in the comments where you're from, and if you're catching it live, write #live, and then if y'all are catching on the replay, write #replay. I would love to know who I'm talking to and build a relationship with you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning. So, like I said, after all that sexual mistreatment, I don't want to call it sexual abuse, and I don't want to say that I was raped, but I was very sexually mistreated. After all that happened to me when I was a little tiny teenager, I kind of embarked on, yes, I got out of all of that through education, but on the side, I found I kept self-sabotaging myself. I was in very unsatisfying relationships. Even in school, sometimes I would get on probation because I wouldn't be making the grades. I would get scholarships to every single piece of my education that I went. I was on a full ride scholarship to Emory. I got an MD and a PhD. I was in the medical scientist training program. And within the first year, I'd gotten on probation. And again, now I see it at age 51, as there was this underlying theme, kind of like this pattern, kind of like this record on repeat play, that I was unworthy. And I would do anything I could to make that true. And I never knew why I was doing it. And I could get myself out of it academically, and I would go and, get out of probation, get my grades back up. But I'm on a mission now. I just wanted to let everyone know whatever it is, whatever life you want, whatever kind of health you want, anything that you can dream, you can have it. And the way you have it is by learning how to master what is known as your mindset and what is in between your ears. And that's what I have developed a transformational health and mindset program to help you with. And if you and I work together, I will go piece by piece with you and teach you how to do that. But what I want to get to today is just an overview of how it is that you can heal yourself. So anything that you want in life, you can have, but you do have to start by healing yourself. And what happens with trauma is that it gets into the actual DNA of your cells, and it can wreak havoc that you would never even know until you wake up and you're 40 years old and you have a divorce, or you're 30 years old and you have anxiety attacks, or you're 50 years old and you're 50 pounds overweight, and you can't seem to do anything to get past that. Or the worst thing to me is people have end up having cancers and heart attacks and strokes, and just it all starts with high blood pressure and diabetes and arthritis and sleep problems and terrible energy, and you don't even realize what's causing it, but it's all due to the trauma that's really, really deeply embedded in your brain, and it's affecting every single thing in your body. But I want you to know that as a child of God, you are nothing short of magic. Your whole entire body is magic. Your brain is the best computer in the world. It floors me when I think about it. Like when we're very, very, very first developed as an embryo, the very first cells that are created when the egg meets the sperm is the neural tube, which turns into your brain. And the brain, obviously, the divine power shows that the brain is the most important thing, and it's the thing that us doctors know the least about. And so I feel like since the doctors know the least about it, then also all the Americans know the least about it too. So again, I want to start by telling you guys what is trauma, and what it is what happens in your body in response to the traumatic event. And how I lived my life and what I told myself I was worth for the past 30 or so years, I see it in my patients every single day. There are patients that I see that have no risk factors whatsoever for a heart attack, but they told themselves, and people will literally tell themselves, I know I'm gonna have a heart attack, I know I'm gonna die of heart disease, or they'll tell themselves I'm gonna have a brain tumor, and they manifest it. They actually get it. I see it every day of my life. And I just see people, they don't realize exactly what it is that they are capable of tapping into, this divine strength. It's like this everlasting powerhouse of strength where you can have perfect health, but you have to know how to expect it and then how to command it from the top down. So what I want to let y'all know is that 96% of what we do and think is actually housed in what I call the what is known as the subconscious brain. I'm going to kind of always touch the back of my head when I talk about the subconscious brain, and only 4% is the frontal brain, the conscious thinking. And so a lot of times what people do is they try to they want to have affirmations to tell themselves, I'm worthy and I make great decisions. Well, all that does is try to condition this little tiny 4% up here of your conscious brain, whereas the big Mac Daddy, driver of the whole ship is what's known as our subconscious brain. And the only things that subconscious brain is responsible for is safety, keeping us alive, procreation, and then all the automatic processes that go on in our body, like digestion, respiration, heart beating, and all that. And so where all the true happiness and true healing lies is being able to tap into this powerhouse that's known as our subconscious brain. So for me, because of my childhood, my whole entire body was bathed. I feel like I was marinated in stress hormones, always being scared for what was going to happen at night, never being able to speak up for myself, and just being scared it might start happening during the day too. And so my whole brain developed being bathed in cortisol and norepinephrine and adrenaline, and it doesn't have to be that way. What's supposed to happen is that we're supposed to be in rest and health and wholeness and healing. And so again, the best way to get everything working in your body is by mastering your brain. So let's learn right now a little bit about how to work our brains, shall we? Again, the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight, getting us out of danger. And then and then it's also, the subconscious is there to keep us safe. So what's also there in our subconscious is our belief system, and our belief systems are what rules our life. My most basic belief system that I had, unfortunately, was that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of protection, love, or acceptance, and that was the one that was ruling my life. And if I couldn't see it in my subconscious that I was worthy, then my body was not going to believe that it was true, if that makes sense. So our subconscious will delete, generalize, and distort anything that isn't congruent with the belief system that's in our subconscious mind. So next Tuesday at 10 a.m., I'm going to be talking about how we process emotions. But what belief systems are is an emotion plus our reaction to it, or a person, place, or thing, and what we make that mean to believe about ourselves. So this is how we think things happen. We think that we see things through our eyes, and then it gets filtered through our thinking brain, which is our frontal lobe here, and then it gets stored in our unconscious as a memory. Well, that's not exactly what happens. What really happens is that when we see things with our eyes, everything in our life, it bypasses the filter here, this thinking brain in the frontal lobe, and it goes into our subconscious brain, and it gets filtered through the reticular activating system. And that consists of the filtering system of everything from our emotional programming, our parental programming, environmental programming, social programming, religious programming, and our belief systems. And then that presents a distorted image of reality up to here in our frontal brain so that we can see what we think we can see. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, think about it, how if you've ever had this happen to you, you are walking around your house looking for your keys or looking for your sunglasses, and they're either in your hand or on your head. Well, our subconscious mind deleted the fact that was in our hand and on our head because it was just such an unimportant piece of information at the time. Then once we try to bring it to our memory so we can get out the door, we can't find it to save our lives, and it's literally in our hand and on our body. So again, if my deepest belief system is that I'm unworthy, if anything shows up in my life that says I am worthy, again, all those scholarships that I got, all these men that I could have been in a relationship with, my reticular activating system will delete those because that is not congruent with my belief system. And so it only presented to me things that said you're unworthy. So I would, stop studying and get on probation. I would get into another crappy relationship with a crappy guy and get my heart broken again. And the same thing happens if you can't believe that you're worthy of being healthy and trim and well rested. If you don't think that you are worthy of being well adjusted and having really affirming relationships in your life and being wildly successful and happy in your life, then when those opportunities are coming around to you in your life, you're not even going to be able to see them because your subconscious mind is going to distort those and delete them because it's not congruent with what's back here, and you're not even going to see that that's a path you could take. So you're only going to take the path that screws you up and makes you unhappy. So again, a belief system is a person, place, or a thing plus an emotion and what you mean that's going to decide about yourselves. And so our brain governs everything. So it's going to be really, really in your best interest and all of our interest if we figure out how this thing works. So for me, I am a Christian. But again, having this screwed up reticular activating system that I had, it actually inhibited me from being able to see the promises of God that He had for me and believing them that they were right for me. I remember lots of times I would write down all these Bible verses and promises, and it was one thing for me to see it, but I never could believe it because it didn't fit with what was back here. I really sometimes think that my eyes just deleted what I was writing in front of me, and I never even saw them. So I'm just like, how can I go to this many Bible studies and not get this healing that I see other people getting? But let me tell you one more thing about the subconscious mind is that we are presented with 2 million bits of information every single second. That's what our subconscious has to deal with. but our conscious brain can only handle 126 bits a minute. So it is having to delete just so that we don't get overwhelmed. And so if you're having a hard time believing what I'm saying, that this filtering system does what I'm saying, then that should prove it. 2 million bits of information come into our bodies every second, but we're only able to see 126 bits. So if that doesn't say it, I don't know what does. It's your brain is in hyperactive mode 24/7, 365 at deleting stuff that it does not see as normal. And it has to know what to delete. So these things back here in the reticular activating system is what tells the brain what to delete. So this is how sometimes, I don't know if y'all have ever had this situation, but my goodness, I have it like once a week. But I literally feel like I'm speaking a different language than my husband or even my sister. The same exact thing can be happening right in front of us, and they see it as one way and I see it as a completely different way. And the reason that is because everybody has their own unique parental program, social program, religious programming, especially when you're with a spouse or with your kid, with your sister too, really, because she's not going to have the exact same experience in life as you have, but especially not your spouse or your kids, because there's so many other things that go on in your kids' lives outside of you, and then in your spouse's life before y'all get into a relationship with each other, and so you literally feel like sometimes you're speaking two different languages. And I've often wished there was a pair of glasses that I could hand him so that he could see things the way that I see, or some sort of a filter I could put on my mouth so that I could speak whatever language it is that he's speaking. But that's not realistic, and I don't think anyone will ever develop that. But that's how frustrated I've been in my own personal life, and I know I'm not the only one. But so I just want to let you know, I run this Facebook group that you're seeing me talk live in here, Reclaim Your Health and Life. Some people aren't really going to be ready and committed to do the work that it takes to really get that. I feel I'd say it's kind of like a gunked up filter. And if you're not really ready to get all that gunk out of your filter and do this work, because it is going to have to happen, to actually go into my program and get the life that you want, you have to be committed to yourself, be committed to finding that best version of yourself, addressing the ugly parts of yourself, and sometimes it can get ugly. And if you're not ready to do that work, that's fine. I'm going to be popping in right here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and just drip feeding you some information at a high level, just an overview, so that at least you can just start to realize what is available to you, and you can digest it at your own pace. But if you ever get to the point where you are so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're ready to have the life that you know is like it's right here in your reach, but you just can't quite reach it, then I'll pop the link in below on how to book a call with me, and we'll see if it is that you're ready. And if you are ready, then what you're going to join is my 12-week transformational health program called The Real Dr. Cindy, and we're in there with a group of 4 lovely ladies at this particular moment, and they are in there just kicking ass and taking names. This one girl had no idea just exactly how much damage had been done to her by growing up with parents that were mentally ill, and she again kept repeating patterns of destructive behavior that she had no intention of having for her life. And she's getting ready to write a book about all that she's learned, and she has completely transformed her health, her marriage, and her relationship with her children, her ex-husband, children from the other marriage. It's just really humbling to watch what people can do with their lives when they're willing to get in there and clear their reticular activating system. It's like the whole entire world is your oyster, and you never saw but there's a little tiny sliver of it before. It's like you're almost looking through a pinhole, and now you're just looking at it with open eyes with everything. It's just amazing. It took me until age 50 to find all of these tools, and I am on a mission. I told God, since He healed me the way that He healed me, and now I can see all the abundance that's in my life, and I'm able to teach it to my kids, and I'm able to be, I'm able to help my patients more, and my relationship is better with my husband than ever before. I told God, since He showed this to me, I'm going to help heal His children. All He has to do is just bring the people to me. So I am so honored that you're here learning a little bit about what it is that I've been spending my lifetime learning about. And if I can answer any questions, again, pop the questions below. So I've been spending, I probably started going to counseling when I was 20. So I've spent over 30 years trying to heal myself and get the health that I wanted, the relationships that I wanted, the confidence that I wanted, the success that I wanted. And again, I just could not seem to find it anywhere, not with any of the pastors, any of the psychologists, any of the books, any of the programs, any of the retreats I went to. I've been hiring life coaches and hypnotherapists for God knows how long. I've spent well over six figures trying to just live the life that I want to live. And I mean, I know I have really big aspirations to where I'm going in my life, but I mean, it just can't be that hard, you know? I mean, I just feel like if you have the mindset that you want to have it done, that you want to accomplish something in your life, you should just be able to do it, you know? So with everything that I went through, I got awareness of what my problems were. I certainly learned what my belief systems were. And I'll do a whole live here in a few weeks about hypnotherapy and NLP and why, even though those processes really work, they don't necessarily last because, again, you are doing the hypnotherapy and the neurolinguistic program to a gunked up filter. And so within about 2 weeks, once it goes through the BS meter or your belief systems meter, and the minute it sees that it's not congruent with what's back there, it's only going to reflect back what is still in there. So if you try to do all these different submodalities to a messed up filter, all you're going to get at the best is what's in that messed up filter. So we got to go in there and get the gunk out of that filter so that you can see everything for what it is. I also use neurolinguistic programming. Excuse me, NLP. I use timeline therapy. I do inner child matrix therapies in my program. But why it doesn't work long term is you can go again to coaches all your life, but until you clear the RAS, you're not going to get rid of those beliefs, those core beliefs. I'm unlovable. I'm not worthy. I'm stupid. Or I'm fat or ugly, and you're going to self-sabotage everything after about 2 weeks of doing all of that. And if you are feeling like you're broken, and if you've like lost weight just to regain it, or if you've signed up for some kind of a course and list out all the 20 million different ways since 1984 that what you've done is going to screw you up, that you're not worthy of that outcome, and how it was true every single time, and it's just gonna it's gonna make you self-sabotage, and it's like shooting yourself in the foot. So you can only effort things so much for so long. And ask me how I know. I got so far in my life with sheer willpower than just to like fall flat on my face. But what's going to happen is you're going to burn out, your adrenals are going to fatigue, your body's going to wear out, you're going to get exhausted. There's only so much that cortisol and norepinephrine and adrenaline can do, and it's in a very unhealthy efforting kind of a way, and you're going to end up getting exhausted. There is an easier way to do it, and what you do is you attack all of it at the origin, which is back here in your subconscious brain. I was really wanting to keep this talk to 30 minutes, and I still have a lot more that I want to talk about, and I'm already at 26 minutes, so I think I'm going to not go through every single thing, and I'm going to take this up next Tuesday at 10 a.m. because I really wanted to honor my wishes to and my promises to myself and to you guys that this would only be 30 minutes, okay? So I'm just letting you know there's a lot more I was going to talk about, but we're going to take that up next time. So what happens is when you are efforting yourself to death and you're getting exhausted, then you end up going through what I call numbing techniques because you're stressing yourself out. And so here you are, you're efforting, and then you're like, God, I'm exhausted, and this isn't really working out the way I wanted to. And so you end up numbing yourself with alcohol or busyness so that you don't think about just how exhausted that you are. And then that's when the real burnout happens, and when you can end up downright getting sick. I don't know if you've ever talked to a woman that was planning her wedding, and then as soon as she gets to the honeymoon, she's like full-blown strep throat or pneumonia, and in the hospital. And you can't help that woman, but she can't help herself because she's just been going and exhausting herself, and she couldn't even realize or even see just how sick she was getting. And she's finally there on the honeymoon after the show is over, and she is just absolutely exhausted. Her immune system is trashed, it's gonna take her sometimes a month or two to get better. And this is the cycle I see in my patients too at the hospital, where they are trying like mad to make a difference in their life. They're trying to live a healthier way. They're doing all the things. They're trying to be this like the best worker that they can be at work. They're trying to be the best mother. They're trying to be the best wife, best in bed, the best cook for their kids. They're trying to get all this. They think they're being healthy by starving themselves to death or working out 20 hours a week. Again, ask me how I know. And then they end up burning out and they end up getting so sick. And I'm just letting y'all know right now, it's not normal and it doesn't have to be this way to get sick 2 times a year and to get on 2 courses of antibiotics a year. You don't have to get a sinus infection. Oh, I get a sinus infection every spring and fall. That's not absolutely not what's supposed to happen. That is your stress system affecting your immune system. And the stress system is there because you are trying to do too much in your brain and you are wearing yourself out, and you're going to end up, you just hope it's a sinus infection that trashes your immune system and your gut health for, your whole entire life. It will take 7 years to recover from the effects of 1 round of antibiotics, what it does to the good healthy bacteria in your gut. You can't keep doing this to yourself. If y'all are doing that, if y'all are on, I would love for people to pop in the comments right now how many rounds of antibiotics they've taken in their life. I'm not even saying in the last year. I mean, in their life. I haven't taken a round of antibiotics in 7 years. I try to avoid those like the plague. There are ways, and I can teach you if we get a chance to work together, there are ways to teach you how to listen to your body way before you actually succumb to an infection and need antibiotics. So I just think in America, and I can't speak to other countries because I've never lived in another country, but in America, we put such this badge of honor on being so dang busy and being so sleep deprived, and we wear ourselves out, and we wonder why we're sick all the time. And then like you're just caught in this vicious cycle of, well, I'm a victim and I'm sick, and oh, now everyone has to cater to me, and now I feel like crap. It takes me 2 months to get back on my feet, and you're just like always behind the 8 ball. Anyway, it does not have to be that way. Again, I kind of ran out of time today. I'm sorry about that. I think I told a little bit too many stories, but I just really want to like hit my story home to you guys so y'all can relate to what I'm saying in case it seems a little neurologic, neuroscience, if it seems like esoteric. I was just really trying to bring it home so y'all understand what I'm talking about. But it's been my pleasure talking to you today. Again, my name is Cindy Stark. I am a Longstreet hospitalist right here at Northeast Georgia Medical Center, and I have been for 13 years, but I've been a board certified internal medicine doctor for the last 20 years. And it's my pleasure and honor to try to bring you guys simple methods. And I always say it's simple, but it's not easy, but it's a simple method on how to get the actual life that you want. And the way that you get that is by mastering your brain. And no doctor ever tells you about this. And then all the counselors and the life coaches and everything, they don't talk about the neuroscience of this particular activating system. So I learned these methods over the COVID quarantine, and I'm finally living the life I've been trying to live for the last 30 years. And again, I just told God, since he brought these tools to me, I'm going to bring them to his people. Just bring me the people and I will teach it to them. So I will bring this whole entire subject up again and finish it up next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. Again, if you are ready to stop living this broken record cycle of just constantly being in battle with yourself and knowing exactly what you want and doing exactly the opposite, then just book a call with me. I'll put the link down below. And again, it's been my pleasure and honor talking to you today. And if I can do anything to help any of you guys, DM me. My program is open all the time. It's a 12-week transformational health program. We spend the first 6 weeks just on clearing out the reticular activating system. And then we spend the next 6 weeks talking about your energy, your sleep, your gut health, your immune system, your connection to others, and your joy and your adventure, and then also your spirit. And it is the best program. There's so much accountability, so much tender love and care from me. I am a major empath, and I love on people. Ask any of my patients that are here at the hospital. I see Deb Trotters here. That's a case manager that has seen me helped get my patients out of the hospital and onto their next phase of care. And she knows how I love on my patients. And I just am so glad to be here on this platform today so I can bring my love and care and attention to more people instead of just the people that are in the hospital having surgeries, having cancers and heart attacks and strokes and everything like that. Is that you do not have to wait to meet me when you're there, when you're so close to the end. Let's go 4 decades before that and actually, make amends and make efforts and make strides and having the life that we want. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you again next Tuesday at 10. Have a great day.